So the topic is, how did Bill Goldberg get to 300 pounds on a vegan diet? We're going to talk about top athletes here and what they're actually doing compared to what you're hearing on the internet. There's lots of different diets that all these athletes, competitors of every sport in the world is going to be on different types of diets, such as omnivore diets or ketogenic diets, vegan diets, vegetarian diets, breatharian diets, Atkins diets, Weight Watchers, all these kinds of different diets. So everyone's on different kinds of diets, yet we're kind of getting the same result as just big, extremely strong and big athletes. And why is this happening with all the different kinds of diets out there? So people think that these things actually matter when it comes to being big and strong, and it all comes down to one thing: being a professional athlete is genetics and drug use. The only time diet's going to come into it is 20, 30, 40 years down the road, when this person's aging, and you'll notice the long-term effects of the two different keto diets, or low-carb diets versus high-carb vegan diets, vegetarian diets. You're just going to see long-term, you'll see longevity with the vegetarians and vegans, but on the short term, you just see these professional athletes that are big and strong and are professional sports athletes. But it all comes down to genetics, and then they pick the elite genetics out, and then they enhance them as much as they can, so they're all-star athletes, and that's just the way it is. Not to mention that our bodies are extremely adaptable, so our bodies are constantly trying to survive, whether we're eating, paper, or we're eating meat, or we're eating vegetables, or we're eating, branches of a tree. Our body's going to adapt and transmutate whatever you put into it to complete itself and nourish the body as best as it can from the source that you're giving it. So it's going to adapt very quickly on any diet that you give it. Does that mean it's going to adapt long term to a meat diet? I don't think so, because all the long term adverse effects like diabetes, protein overdose, multiple sclerosis, just obesity, heart failure, everything you can think of when it comes to eating a meat and oil diet. So the human body is very adaptable, and at the end of the day, you need to realize that all the superstars that we idolize, or people idolize, are typically on some sort of drugs or stimulants, and two, are elite genetics for their whatever their role is, whether it's Yokozuna or Lance Armstrong or Phil Heath or whatever. They were all genetic freaks to begin with, and then you add these things on top to get all-stars, the best in the world. So the top athletes in the world, dietitians, say that you need 1 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, which is considerably low when the bodybuilding world probably tells you 2 to 3 grams on just to sell you powders, and so that you try to hit these numbers that you don't need to be hitting if you're eating a carb-based diet. So someone like Goldberg, being 300 pounds is somebody that's going to need, just to maintain that muscle, is going to need somewhere in the line of like 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day. So you can't get that all from protein, and you don't need to, because you can eat more carbs, digest faster, get more calories in, so you can maintain the larger size. So if you're double the size of somebody, so you're 300 pounds of muscle, and you start training like an athlete, it's going to take a lot more energy to move larger amounts of muscle, therefore you need more calories per day, and that's where the carbs are really going to come into play with the bigger guys, maintaining a large size and staying lean as well with the large amount of muscle mass, because your body's going to be just eating all your fat because you have so much muscle and you're on the gear, and then you're spiking your carbs, or not spiking but maintaining your carbs like to 1,000 or 2,000 grams of carbohydrates a day just to get your calories up. It's all going to go somewhere. It's going to fill the muscle that you have on your body, and then the muscle is going to burn any fat that's there, and that's how you get these monsters on. So looking at again Bill Goldberg's weight of 300 pounds, or however many kilos that is, you're going to be looking around the 150 to 200 gram protein per day mark, which is absolutely insanely easy on a vegan diet. With your calories that high especially, but even if you're not on a huge calorie surplus, like I hit 100 a day without trying to have anything extra. So to double that for somebody who's going to eat double what I'm going to eat, it just all the numbers work out that way. When people talk about high fat diets in endurance athletes, a lot of people think that that's a ketogenic diet, but typically the people that are doing these sort of diets during endurance races are eating high fat with high carb to potentially tap into the carbs at the beginning of the race, and then tapping into the fat at the end of the race, versus going in with only carbs and burning them up really fast. This is what they're claiming. So they're not actually running in ketosis unless they're really stupid, and if they are, they're not winning the race anyway, so it doesn't matter. So there are different types of sports that are going to require different types of diets, or at least macro ratios, but the high fiber diet wins every time when it comes to longevity, overall health, endurance, strength. Everything you need is in a vegan, vegetarian diet. The problem always comes down to people thinking they need more protein than they actually need because of the diet industry and the things that doctors say to their clients, clients. So the amount of, it's just been ingrained in us so much that a lot of people think it's unrealistic to get 100 or 200 grams of protein on a vegan diet, or it's very difficult, and it's just not true unless you're specifically avoiding all beans, grains, legumes, which some people are allergic to, but there's always ways around things. So at the end of the day, all the different macronutrients that you may choose on whatever diet you wish to endeavor, there's going to be some things that work for some people and some things don't work for everybody. I do think, unless under extreme, less than 1% conditions, like people that are allergic to beans and rice and all the things that require protein, but even still you could get it on a fruit diet, for example, but it's a little extreme for most people, and I get that. A lot of people don't get that, but so you need to decide and test out for yourself what's going to work. Is it the higher fat, higher carb, maybe even higher protein? But I doubt it. It's typically the higher carb if you want to lose weight, enjoy life, go outside, exercise, run, jump, play in the snow, frolic, whatever you want to do. And I hope this video was informative. Okay guys, that's it for this video. If you could please like, comment, and subscribe down below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.